Y'all, the streets are buzzing louder than a beehive with rumors that there's a naughty tape of Queen Bey and Jay-Z being shopped around Hollywood. And let me tell you, it's supposedly more explicit than that one time I accidentally sent a screenshot to my mom instead of my bestie. Yikes! Now, you might be wondering, Sophie, why are Bey and Jay suddenly in the spotlight? Well, it all started when Jay-Z's BFF Diddy got exposed for allegedly being creepier than a clown at a midnight carnival. Fans started speculating that the real reason the Carters were distancing themselves from Diddy faster than I Ghost a bad Tinder date was because he might have some dirt on them. And not just any dirt. We're talking buried treasure level secrets. Here's where it gets juicy. A celebrity lawyer claiming to represent some of Diddy's alleged victims dropped a bombshell. She says she's got footage of Beyoncé in a compromising situation that's wilder than my hair on a humid day. We're talking full-on freak-off mode, besties. But wait, it gets even crazier. Some unconfirmed rumors are saying that this tape is being auctioned off like it's a rare Pokemon card. And get this, Jay-Z is allegedly offering to pay a whopping $500 million to keep it under wraps. That's more zeros than I have in my bank account after a shopping spree. Now let's break this down like we're solving a mystery. How did this tape allegedly get leaked? Did Diddy really pull a sneaky and record Beyoncé without her knowing? It's like an episode of CSI Hollywood up in here. While we haven't seen the actual footage, thank goodness, because I don't think my eyes are ready for that, some pictures from these alleged parties have leaked. And when I tell you they're wild, I mean wilder than a roller coaster designed by a caffeinated toddler. One of Diddy's alleged victims spilled the tea by leaking some secret snaps from these parties, and it had everyone more shook than a Polaroid picture. But here's the kicker. People who claim to have seen the alleged Beyoncé video are saying it's more shocking than finding out pineapple actually belongs on pizza. It's got everyone wondering what in the name of Sasha Fierce was going down at these freak-offs. Now, let's talk about how this whole mess came to light. A lawyer named Ariel Mitchell dropped some major tea in an interview. She's filing an SA lawsuit against Diddy on behalf of a client, and the story she told is eerier than a ghost story at a slumber party.
So she called me and told me a very horrific story about her and her escape from the. She told me that she was at a friend's house who had industry ties and was on the phone with Diddy, and he decided to come to the house. And when he came to the house, everything was fine, that there was another woman there who we've determined to be Christina Coram, KK, who Diddy talks about a lot as his like right-hand woman, if you will, and that they were discussing her. And then that led to her being served a drink where then she started to feel woozy, and then Mr. Combs assaulted her with an inanimate object and then actually directed another gentleman to her while he watched and pleasured himself.
According to Ariel, her client met Diddy in 2018 while hanging out at a friend's place. Things took a dark turn when Diddy allegedly spiked her drink, essayed her with an inanimate object, I don't even want to know, and then forced another man to essay her while he watched. It's like a horror movie, but make it real life. And get this, Diddy's assistant, Christina Coram, was allegedly there watching it all go down without lifting a finger to help. Talk about bad vibes.
So she was able to escape eventually and ran out into the streets yelling and screaming, and a neighbor heard her because this happened in a quiet suburban neighborhood, if you will.
So there's a witness?
Yes, we have a witness. We also have a police report, and that was made in 2018 that she, when she initially filed the police report, she didn't name Diddy out of fear of retaliation, and more importantly, fear that no one would believe her.
Right.
So she then updated that report, and we've been working with law enforcement to have them actually look into that report. They didn't do too much then, but now they are looking more closely at it.
All right, so let's slow that down just a minute. So when we talk about what happened in that house and she's running out to the street, I can see it as you're describing it so well. Did she call the police right away? You said that obviously that there is a police report, but is she calling 911? Is she going to the neighbor's house? Can you give us any more detail about what happened?
Sure. What she did was, as she's running out the house yelling, a neighbor saw her and invited her into the home.
Okay.
And it's the neighbor who then called the police, and the police did come out at that time. They also stated that they heard cars screeching And the neighbor went outside and saw a black SUV leaving the premises very quickly. And by the time the police arrived, of course, he was no longer there.
Well, was the neighbor able to identify who it was?
The neighbor wasn't, only that they saw the car leaving, and they'd only described the truck. They could not tell who was inside, but she told the neighbor at the time who it was and why they were leaving so abruptly.
She must have been terrified.
The story gets even wilder. The victim allegedly managed to break free and ran out screaming for help. A neighbor heard her and called 911, but surprise, surprise, the police didn't do squat. They didn't even question Diddy. It's like they were more useless than a screen door on a submarine.
And due to the high-profile nature that it was Mr. Combs who did this, she was afraid for her life. She was concerned that if she was to come forward and say something, that no one would believe her, because we're talking about 2018 when Mr. Combs was still pretty much at the height of his career, still very much so an icon and influential figure. So she's just a young girl from Northern California who's gonna believe that he had done something to her like this. So she didn't tell anybody. She did not hire an attorney. All she did was make the police report in the hopes that maybe the police would try to investigate and come up with anything. But she said she kind of felt from the police that they were disregarding what she was saying, even without saying Mr. Combs' name.
Do you know if he was interviewed? I mean, he was named in the police report?
I don't think so. Based on what she said, she really felt that the police were trying to bury this and disregard her claims and not really investigate, which is another reason why a lot of victims don't report these things to the police. We have to address the elephant in the room is that we have victims, especially women, who go to the police, who are typically men, who don't actually investigate these things. They victim blame, they victim shame, and women don't feel safe or even protected to even make these claims because they don't think they'll be taken seriously, nor will their claims be investigated.
Right. Well, your client should be proud of herself for filing that claim and making that call and going for help.
But wait, there's more. Ariel dropped another bombshell. She said another client contacted her about selling a tape featuring one of the biggest celebs in the industry. And get this, the celeb had no idea they were being filmed. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to put two and two together and realize she might be talking about Beyoncé. I mean, who else is bigger than Diddy in Hollywood?
I also was just recently contacted by someone who wanted me to essentially represent them in the sale of one of the Diddy tapes. So, which I declined that because...
Wait a minute, say that again. Say that again, back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but the shopping thing is...
Yes, there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood. But one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of and to contact the person who was in the video to see if they were interested in purchasing the video before it became a public knowledge.
I've heard this before, so like a catch and kill.
Catch and kill, correct.
Wow, can you, and I guess you can't reveal the person who is on
No, I
tape.
can't explain who the person was, but Mr.
High profile?
Mr. Combs was in the tape, and this other person is, I would venture to say, more high profile than Mr. Combs.
Really? Really? And you've seen it?
I've seen stills of the video.
Okay.
So
you can verify
that it exists, that it's real, that the other person in the video is very visible. It's no question if it's that person in the video, and I can tell the video was graphic in nature.
Oh my, all right. So we know that he videotaped a lot of activities at his home, did he? And it sounds like there was probably a lot of hidden cameras as well. Is that what is being talked about?
Yes, this was actually in his Atlanta home, at a home he had in Atlanta at one point. And it does seem that the person isn't like looking into the video, so it's, to me, doesn't seem like that person knows they're being videotaped. It doesn't seem like they're active participant in the videotaping, like they're being surreptitiously recorded.
Now, fans are playing detective like they're in an episode of Scooby-Doo. They're digging up old receipts faster than I dig through my closet for the perfect outfit. Remember that interview with Da Baby? It kind of seemed like Beyonce might have been putting the moves on him. Scandalous.
I was at a party at Diddy crib in LA. This was the beginning of 2020. You know what I mean? Diddy had put everybody else out the crib, like the influx of people he had put him out. but he had took a liking to me in particular around the time, man. It was really, you know what I mean, like putting his arm around me.
Right.
So he had put majority of the people out, but he allowed me to stay in there. Me and, you know, maybe about 15 others, you know.
Right.
Jay-Z and Beyonce being, you know, 2 of the other 15 people in the room. So that'll just put into perspective of the type of company I was in at the moment, you know. And she came over and introduced herself to me like as if she had to. Beyonce, cut it out. But I'm a big fan of your work, you know what I'm saying? Whoop the whoop, and that was just dope. That was dope as hell to me, man. That was.
But that's not all, besties. Remember when Diddy made his artists walk for hours to get him a cheesecake? We all thought he was just being extra, but Freddie P spilled some piping hot tea. Turns out the cheesecake wasn't even for Diddy, it was for Beyonce. And she allegedly made Diddy make the boys get it for her. Talk about power moves.
Okay, fun fact a lot of people don't know. That cheesecake we went and got was for Beyonce. She was upstairs the whole time. What we was talking about again? Hold on. Yeah, that's a fun fact people don't know. People like, y'all walked to get a cheesecake. It was for Beyonce. I'll do it again. But yeah, because at first he was like, I want some cheesecake. But we took all night to do the process, right? So when we got back, it was like 4 or 5 in the morning. And me and Dallon got back first. Let me tell you how green these niggas is. So I'm the type of nigga. I listen to everything you say as if it's a contract. So if you say, walk to the store, or walk to get me some cheesecake, I'll walk to get you some cheesecake, but I'm not walking back. And that's just what me and Dallon did. And they like, why y'all, you know, they hot. Like, y'all cheating. And we like, he told us to walk. He didn't tell us to walk back. So we already in the hotel like 3 hours before they got there. When they said they was coming, we went and met him in front of the building. And you know the first thing that nigga said out of his mouth? He said, we got the cheesecake. He was like, I don't want that shit. Take that shit upstairs for Beyonce. Then he said, they was like, yeah, man, we want to tell you, Fred and Dallon, they ain't walk back. You know, trying to be on some snitching shit. He's like, I ain't tell you niggas to walk back.
And if you thought we were done with the tea, think again. Earlier this year, Jaguar Wright dropped a bomb bigger than my last online shopping haul. She claimed there's a tape of Beyonce floating around and Queen Bey had no idea she was being recorded. It's like a plot twist in a movie, but make it real life.
Because the Diddy. Oh! Diddy done turned over tapes. Allegedly, with the Carters, in some freak off. And the Beyonce. How on the... And the tapes had all over it. Hold on.
Now, I know some of y'all might think Jaguar's crazier than a bag of cats, but you've got to admit, she's been right more times than my weather app. But let's keep it real. We don't have any hard evidence that it's really Beyonce on those tapes. It's all hearsay and rumors for now. But here's where it gets interesting. There are whispers that Jay-Z is trying to buy that tape before it leaks faster than a poorly made water balloon. Some fans are throwing out figures as high as $500 million. That's more money than I'll see in 10 lifetimes. If Jay's willing to drop that kind of cash, you gotta wonder, just how bad is that tape? Fans are going wild in the comments, y'all. One said, all the celebrities are involved. I can't believe people don't think otherwise. You can't be in Diddy's circle for 30 years and not know or not be a part of it. Another chimed in with, anyone who participated in or supported P. Diddy's freak-off events or similar behavior should be exposed and held accountable. Preach, bestie. Some fans are even saying we should shut all of Hollywood down, including The Sign. Now that's what I call dramatic. So what do you think, besties? Is it really Beyonce on those tapes? And if it is, did Jay-Z know she was being recorded? Or is this all just a big misunderstanding blown way out of proportion? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Remember, this is all allegedly for now, but if there's one thing I know about Hollywood, it's that the truth always comes out eventually. It's like trying to hide a pimple on prom night. Sooner or later, everyone's gonna see it. Until next time, stay fabulous and stay tuned for more piping hot tea. This story is far from over, and you know your girl Sophie Scoop will be here to spill every last drop. Bye-bye!